Everyone, welcome to another interesting day on Earth. And we are nearly at the end of September. Bit of a strange day today. I was saying to my husband, I don't want to actually see anybody. I just want to be away from the noise. And I think that's generally the feel at the moment. It's as if the outer world we're having to let go of all the stories because the only inner truth that you can get is what's happening within. And often I get messages with things that happen in my life as a reflection of what the collective is also experience. And yesterday I was at a osteopath because I noticed there's an imbalance in my body, and I've been trying to work with it and looking at the emotional, where am I out of balance in my life, and looking at the physical and endeavoring to do enough exercise to work out the imbalance. And it took me a lot to concede, actually, I don't know what the issue is, and I need to get some assistance with the thought of doing some reformer Pilates. And so it was a really great opportunity just to hear some things, because how we view ourselves is quite often not how things are. So I thought, well, perhaps my core is not strong. And so I was making judgments about myself. And actually, when I went down there, she said, yeah, you've got good strength in your core, and some other things that I thought that perhaps were not in balance were in balance. So sometimes we just need to have another perspective to really understand what's going on in our body. And I liken it to the fact that, if you go into nature, you look at what happens in nature, everything's working together and everything wants to bring itself back into balance. And the same thing in the physical body. I've been working with my grandson. He's had to see a chiro and some remedial therapy because he was looking at his phone all during COVID and started to get a bit of a hump, and his spine started to twist. And as a response to that, his neck was trying to readjust, and other parts of his body, his spine was trying to twist itself to get back into equilibrium. Now, I have to say he's nearly back to normal after getting some assistance. But the point is, where everything in our body is trying to bring back equilibrium. And sometimes we only look at the physical without looking at the emotional and mental, and especially the mental, because I think very much at the moment, we need to have a mental detox from the world. And what I mean by that is the same way you watch what you put into your body, like food wise, the same way you know which way your body wants to exercise or not exercise, but the same way you need to look at what information is coming to you from the outer world. In the teachings of Grabavoy, we talk about our 5-meter sphere that's around us, where we create. And at any given moment, not only have we got our own thinking that either creates harmony or distortions in the field, we have other people's reality being projected at us at various times. And so if you're down the rabbit hole, or you're watching the news, or you're listening to a lot of people's information, you're more than likely contaminated in the area of your consciousness. And sometimes we need a big detox from the toxins that are coming from what we listen to and what we take in. Now, I get to a stage, and I don't know about you, sometimes when there's too much information coming at me, it's almost like I feel like I'm up to here with knowledge, or with what's coming as information from the outer world, to the point is like I can't take in anymore, and I don't want to take in anymore. And this is where I generally have the luxury, I guess, to retreat. But we all at various times can retreat into our inner world and shut out the outer world noise. or as I like to do, retreat into the garden and ground into nature as a way of really just bringing myself back to myself. The only way that your body communicates whether you're on path or not is to create an imbalance in your body as a way of getting your attention. And interesting, in our last New Earth Academy of Eternity classes, I intuitively felt to ask if somebody in the group needed some support with some healing. It was interesting. Just about the whole group said, yes, me. And so that's what we did. We basically started to get clear on what the issue was, and then played around in the fabric of time and space using either some number sequences of Grigori Grabovoi or using some geometric forms. But what we like to do is play. And this is where your soul can show you via images, your intuition, you could call it your imagination. And that's the part that you have to start taking notice of, because you're always getting little signals. Something in your body is a signal that things are not okay. Now, if you're doing well at the moment, congratulations, because there is certainly, we live in a very toxic world, physically and emotionally and mentally. I happened to capture something this morning that got my attention as I was posting the daily concentrations on social media. And it was somebody who was arguing about why being a transsexual was just normal. And it was very interesting because this person was presenting to a group of people. And when I look at those sort of things, I say, how can somebody's mind be so manipulated in a way that to me, it seems so distorted that they can't even argue or discuss what it is to be a man or a woman. And I wonder how that gets, people got like that. Well, I guess it's because we've had a lot of distortion through the media, etc. And I don't probably need to spell this out. You already have a fair idea how we arrived at this situation. And this is why I said we have to be careful of what we take in, because all of that then has an impact in our consciousness. Now, if I can think and talk about it after viewing it this morning, then that means there is some part of that information that has remained in my consciousness enough for me to remember to say it to you. So just be a reminder that you need a mental detox as well. The other thing that I'm going to just mention is our ability to think. We know how to learn. We know how to repeat what we've been taught, but we don't often spend time thinking. And when we go through the daily methods of concentration of Grigori Grabovoi, it really does stop you to ponder and think, what does this actually mean? And surprisingly, having done this since 2011, I do stop and ponder. There are days I don't, but generally I like to look at and think, what does this mean to me now? Now, some people see the daily concentrations and have no idea and never stop to ask themselves, what does this mean? We've lost the ability to think, to dive in and see what it means for you, even if you're frightened you don't have the right answer, or you're looking to somebody else to give you the answer. The point is, always the information comes to you, and it does. After reading the daily concentrations for some time, all of a sudden I understand what is meant. And especially after reading them for a good 13 years, I start to get a deep understanding. And what that does is sort of unlock the barriers you have around your thinking, so that you start to expand the way you think, and therefore the concepts of you understanding how the world's created, but also having a better spiritual connection within yourself. And so while I was creating something for one of our members of our community today, I came across this passage from Gregory Grabovoy's book, Resurrection and Eternal Life. From Now On, It's Our Reality. And I just wanted to read it to you. I love this book because there's just little nuggets in there that you can go in and read time and time again. So let me have a look. This is about man's organization, which takes into account all the development of the entire external world. And the following principle is very important for everyday life. Grief, despondency, and nostalgia are not the way to perceive the world. Only joy, light, and love are the way to comprehend the world. Where all is eternal, where there is no destruction, where man is free, where all is beauty and joy, love and light reign. There is no room for grief or sadness and other negative thoughts. There is just no room for them left, because everything is filled with love and light. And since there won't be any negative emotions in the future, one must realize that the presence of the negative emotions now hinders a person's evolution, hampers his spiritual growth. Grief, despondency, envy, hatred, and other negative emotions are the world elements which dissipate. They start to disappear or vanish when the beginning of the development of one's spirituality, so that you begin to be rooted and established in love. You have the power together with all the saints to grasp what the worth and the length and the depth and the height are. We can see that from times immemorial, it was known that love plays an enormous part in attaining higher states of consciousness. And not only love, but other positive emotions as well. In their turn, the higher states of consciousness help positive emotions to become deeper, help all the cells of an organism to be filled with these emotions, which in turn leads to even greater spiritual growth and so on. This process is infinite, and as already mentioned, transforming to ever higher and higher states of consciousness. That is the way to the prime creator, to God. And I like this because it just reminds us again how the emotions from the past can be dragged into the present, where we're feeling guilt about something, or we're feeling resentful or despondent about things from the past, which have in fact helped you to get to this position, helped you to get to this point now. Instead of seeing your life as something where there is the negative, it's actually the negative that you perceive that's got you to a point now for your development, or to have come to Grabovoy's teachings, or found this YouTube. So please understand, like I mentioned, my body was trying to create balance and equilibrium. So do the events and the emotional states in your life. And we are light. So remember, for light to create energy, these are what precede before we see things that turn up as matter in the physical reality. So you might have, for instance, done a control or repeated a number sequence and don't notice anything happening in the moment. But just understanding and having full trust that the number sequences are light language and you are speaking it into the unified field to restore harmony. And therefore, the light that you speak through the number sequences starts to create energy that will, in time, form matter. And so when we can start to harmonize our thinking and having a mental detox from the outer world, you don't even realize what's happening. I don't know what happens in the news because I don't watch it. And the news only impregnates you with their version of what they want you to hear. And so please understand that at the moment, it's really important to have that mental detox to start to bring yourself back into equilibrium. And therefore, your physical body, which is the matter of you, then starts to restore harmony. And we talk about there being an unwinding of events. So sometimes before you see the light, there is the darkness. And the darkness is where we're starting to harmonize those parts that have been out of balance and distorted. I'd like to leave you today with a very quick control, which is called the opening of your heart. And I do this to help to bring you back into balance and to understand that if we just take the time from outer world distractions and come back to ourselves, then we can bring ourselves back into balance. I like to start when we go into our practice is to bring our awareness back to the present moment. And you can do this in a number of ways. You can repeat the number sequence 71042, which harmonizes the present moment. Or you can do something very simple that I get our group to do, which is just to start breathing. So right in this moment, just be aware of your physical body where you're sitting and take some long, deep breaths. I like to start off breathing in the belly area, in the sacral area. You might like to even place your hands over your belly and just feel the rise of your belly and observe as your fingers spread as you bring in the beautiful sacred breath of life. And then take a big, deep breath out, releasing anything that does not serve you, any tension, any annoying thoughts or annoying people. Take another big breath in and breathe out. And the last big breath in, this time, let everything go. Just be at peace in your body. And this breathing in and out that we're doing signals to your nervous system that you are safe and everything is okay in this present moment. We start to connect to the Creator. 11981, 11981, 11981. We do this specifically because we are soul, we are aspects of the Creator. And so we're going to see and act like the Creator does. In the light and rescue of all, I'm in spirit. I see and act as the Creator sees and acts. Rescue and harmonious development for humanity and the multiverse. My objective today is opening of my heart. But first, I go back to the point in time and space where I closed my heart. I do not need to understand why or how. I just, in my consciousness, take myself back to 1 hour before the trigger of the cause of the closing of my heart. I did not participate in the upcoming events. I went my way, the bright path of the Creator. All the participants and events went their bright path. Our paths did not cross. I send a light impulse from my soul and a light impulse from the Creator's soul and fix the result. Now for the opening of the heart, I take a silvery white sphere. And into this silvery white sphere, I place the number sequence for the light of the Creator. 1, 2, 3, 7, 0, 7, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 7, 0, 7, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 7, 0, 7, 4, 4. And I also place in that sphere the number sequence for the energy of the Creator. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 5, 0, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 5, 0, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 5, 0, 2, 5. And I take this silvery white sphere with the number sequences of the light and energy of the Creator, and I place it directly into my front of my chest and directly into the heart. And as the light and the energy of the Creator touches the eternal cell in my heart starts to fill with golden light. This golden light travels to my bloodstream via the arteries, veins, and capillaries. This golden light harmonizes the sacred waters of my body, my blood. This golden light travels up into my head to all organs and glands and systems, to my pineal gland, my pituitary, my hypothalamus, to the organs of sight and sound and smell and taste, travels down further into my lungs, which fill with golden light. This golden light travels down to my digestive system, to the organs of my digestive system, the liver, the gallbladder, the spleen and pancreas, down to the small and large intestines. Golden light travels down into my urinary system, my kidneys, travels to the organs of reproduction. The golden light penetrates to my muscles and ligaments. It travels down into my skeletal system. And finally, the golden light of the Creator travels to the largest organ of my body, the skin. And my whole physical organism is filled with golden light. Just take a moment now to perceive this golden light of the Creator, this golden energy of the Creator, and start to have some sense what may be happening in or around your physical body. Perhaps you feel a pressure somewhere, a warmth, a tingling. Maybe you feel like you're having tiny little electrical impulses through your whole body. You feel very connected to the earth, connected to your aspect of you of soul, connected to creation itself. Right in this moment, everything is in harmony. Everything feels peaceful. To end our practice, I send a silvery white light impulse from my soul, from the area of my heart, and a gold impulse of soul from the Creator. And I fix the result, opening of my heart, according to all parameters of creation and on all levels of reality, now and for all times. 8898. Materialization in front of the backdrop of the Creator's soul. Just now take another big, deep breath into the area of your chest. Start to bring your awareness back to your physical body, back to the here and now. And now you can travel back into the world from this place of peace. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and see you again soon.